Hey guys, okay, I'm going to put up another video. It's been a while since I put one up. But first up, I've got to say, sometimes being in a band sucks. It just sucks. Things tend to fall apart. You build it back up, and they fall apart. You build it back up, and they fall apart. You change people, it falls apart. This is why years ago I gave up on being in bands and drumming and just become a DJ, because I knew as a DJ, well, I've got me to worry about, and I'm going to rock up. I know I'm going to be there. Anyway, those last few videos that were put up was of under construction. So we had, was there 5 members in the band, and towards the end, which, yep, that's all done and over, certain members didn't want to rock up anymore. Their attitude was, well, unless we've got gigs coming up, I see no reason to rehearse. So my whole point was, okay, no reason to rehearse, then that means we're stuck with, say, the 30 to 32 songs that we have, and, well, there just ain't no point in learning anything new. That makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, whilst that was slowly falling apart, I started writing some original material, hence why I have a guitar here. Now, I'm not really a guitarist, okay? I know some power chords, I know just a couple of little chords like that. And I was just writing some stuff. So anyway, I got with the 2 guitarists that were in the band. I'm like, you want to work on a bit of a project of doing just some original material and just see what happens. Okay, let's give it a whirl. So we started getting together without letting the other guys know what was going on. Just playing some stuff, playing some original material. And after a few weeks, we decided, you know what, that other band, it's had its day, we're finished. So that was it, dropped it, all done, over. Another band gone yet again. Now, wow. Alright, things changed. Now, this new band has been sort of together for 6 months. I'm going to put little bits and pieces over the progress over the last few months, what's actually happened. Now, my rhythm guitarist, he decided to throw the guitar basically to the shit house and said, I'll just play bass for something different. I'm like, really? You're like an awesome player. Why would you go on bass? But that's what he wanted. So he went on bass. Our lead guitarist basically played rhythm and lead and gave singing a crack. And I was just on the drums. So there was only 3 of us. After a little while, a few weeks, I'm like, we really need another guitarist. Like, he breaks into a solo, and the bass player, he's not really a bass player, he's really a guitarist. He wasn't really doubling up on bass sort of to fill that gap in. I mean, he could play bass, but he wasn't like a pro bass player. You wouldn't believe it. There is a big difference between playing bass and really knowing how to play bass. He could, get by, but you put an actual bass player in and they'll start doing all sorts of slaps and pops and fills and all that sort of thing. So it was gapped. It was very empty. So, all right, we bring in another guitarist. Now, I specifically said, you got to be careful what you ask for and what you end up getting. I said, this is going to sound really bad. I said, okay, I want another guitarist. I don't want anyone old. I don't want anyone ugly. I don't want anyone fat. Can you guys do that? And they both said, actually, yeah, we can. So I'm like, okay, it was kind of a joke and I wasn't expecting you to be able to do this. I know, don't attack me. That's just what I said, all right? Anyway, so they brought in this guy, okay, great player, really, really good player, but had never played in a band before, had never been on stage before. Now, we were rehearsing for a while, we were getting more and more tracks together, I was writing more songs, and there was 1 or 2 in particular he didn't want to play, because these 1 or 2 songs required like a 7-string guitar, down tune. He didn't want to do that, so basically we'd play it, and he would just stand there and not do it. And we started getting this feeling that, okay, really nice guy, but very quiet, and we're thinking on stage, he's going to go 1 of 2 ways. He's either going to just tear into it and just be insane on stage, or he's going to freeze up and just be petrified. And I honestly think that's the way it would have went. I think we would have hit the stage, and he would, if he played, you would have been able to tell he was just stone scared, because he was very, very withdrawn. I didn't even end up knowing a lot about him because he never opened up about himself much at all. Basically, I knew he had a job, I don't know what, and he played guitar. That's pretty much all I knew. So we decided, all right, this is no good. He was also coming up with excuses to not come to rehearsal. So we have a band chat on Facebook, and I wrote up, basically, all right, well, you don't want to rehearse here, you don't want to rehearse here. I'm kind of getting over this. You know, basically saying on a Thursday night you don't want to rehearse. No one is saying, well, let's pick another night to make it easier on everybody else. No one's stating this. So basically, it's either you rock up Thursday or that's it. So, what do you know? That was it. Go back to the drawing board. So we're back to the three of us. Now, at this point, I'm insisting that the bass player get rid of the bass, get back on guitar, because it's not really working. So surprisingly, we go back to my original bass player I've had all these years in Burn Notice, in Chasm. The ones, you know, I've used him a lot. So we bring him in, put the bass player back on guitar, but now we've got the problem of still vocals. Now the guitarist is singing, but it's all right, not great. He's a fantastic guitar player, but not crash on vocals, which I'll show you. I'm talking a lot, hey? Anyway, as time sort of goes on, now he's at uni, so he actually had to tell us that he literally just does not have the time to be playing in a band. We knew something like this was coming anyway, because a fantastic guy, love him to death, but we knew that he had so much on his plate. He couldn't dedicate himself to this. At times he'd say, you know, he couldn't rock up. We'd rehearse anyway, and he'd find some way of getting there, but it was just starting to get too hard. So I think he felt, him saying that he had to leave, he felt, I think, more guilty towards me. I think everyone classed this band as my baby because I'm the one writing all the material. And it's like, well, no, it's not mine, it's everybody's. But I think he felt really bad that he had to go, but I completely understood, so that was fine. So he went, all right, now we're back in the situation of, shit, we have one guitarist and I want two. So then the idea gets thrown up. Now, if you go back to my earlier videos with Chasm, which was like 3 bands ago, to bring up that lead guitarist. So I give him a phone call, it's like, you want to give it a whirl. It's all original stuff, it's no more cover music. And he's like, sure, okay. So he flew down, and we didn't fly down. he come down, we had a rehearsal, and then it was all good. Felt really good. Actually, I jumped the gun here. We decided to bring in another singer. This is with the other guitarist before he left. We decided to give our old singer from Chasm a crack at this, and she performed phenomenally. I was like, okay, her voice just massively improved since back in the days of Chasm. I think you can see where I'm going with this. So yeah, we took her on. Yeah, then the guitarist had to leave. Then we bring in the old lead guitarist from Chasm. So what's really funny, what's happened now, is that band that was together 4 years ago, it's like gone full circle. We're back to the original band we were together 4 years ago, but doing original material now, which is pretty much hard rock sort of thing. We throw in a couple of covers. At this point, we kind of have to, because we've only got, well, at this point, we've only got 9 songs. I've worked on another 3, which we'll try out tomorrow night, actually, which will be on a Thursday. And yeah, so this is just weird what's happened. You know, we started this whole thing 4 years ago, and we all split off in different ways, only for things to go rapidly wrong, to come right back to where we were 4 years ago. The difference is now, we're actually really loving this. I hope I'm not jinxing this, because this is going so well. We split 4 years ago because, well, we're going our own way sort of thing. People weren't talking. Everyone got the shits with everybody else, and everyone was starting to blame you. That's not happening this time. This time, it's like everyone's learning the material. The singer's, wow, works harder than anybody else. She's really learnt the words. And learning the words to an original song you didn't write, I'm going to find that to be incredibly hard, because it's not like learning, I don't know, Johnny Be Good, which is, say, when we play, which in other words is a song you've heard a million times. This is something brand new you've never heard before, and you really got to sort of learn these words. I mean, if you make a mistake at a gig, it doesn't matter who's going to know. It's not like it's big time stuff yet, even if that happens, which would be great. But yeah, my whole point here is, you never know what's going to happen in the future. Obviously, you're watching this because you're interested in bands, you're in a band yourself. But it's amazing how things just change over time, and the amount of members you can go through to possibly go back to where you originally were years ago. So I'm going to slap together bits and, I'm not going to do the full songs, I'm just going to do bits and pieces, because as I said, this is original material. Not everything has been copyrighted yet, so I'm a bit protective of my own stuff. But I'm going to go through snippets of the changes that's happened in only the last few months. It's only been the last few months where things have just kept on bloody well changing. And I will actually put up a gig. We've only done one gig, and it was just a support act, and it was just to start to get our name out there. I think I'll actually put that up, but I'll put it up in another video. But anyway, here's little snippets of over the last few months on just how things have rapidly changed, only to go right back where we started from. Enjoy, guys.